Hey Grace Church, Michael Campbell here, family pastor, going over this Sunday's lesson, how it applies to our children, how it applies to us personally as primary disciples in our home. So how do we prepare our hearts as the children are heading into church this week? And so we are going through Matthew chapter 13 about Jesus teaching about God's kingdom and what that can look like. And so Jesus often uses parables to teach about God's kingdom, and these were fictional stories most of the time that illustrated a larger point. And for those who had heard them were often perplexed by their meaning. And so in Matthew chapter 13, Jesus gave clarity to two important questions that readers of the parables often ask. And like, why does he teach this way? And what do these things actually mean? So Jesus has a very specific purpose in everything that he did. Not a moment in the life of Jesus was purely accidental or circumstantial. Jesus had a clear intention in everything that he did. So Jesus' disciples asked him, why are you speaking to them in parables? And Jesus explained that he did this to not confuse them, but to fulfill the prophecy that those who belong to the kingdom of God will hear and understand, but those who do not hear it won't understand. And in the same chapter, Jesus also explained some of the parables. Like, all of them were intended to show this unique, surprising, powerful nature of the kingdom of God. So as we consider the story this week in the Bible, let's reflect on two specific realities illustrated by those parables about the kingdom of God. So first, the kingdom of God will appear to be made up to those who are true believers and to those who are not. Like, it'll appear that way. And there are some good fish and some worthless fish, some wheat and some weeds. But in these parables, we learn that there is no confusion for God in who his children truly are. In the end, God will separate the two, which means we don't have to, right? God will take care of guarding his eternal kingdom. Secondly, we see that the kingdom of God may look small or weak, but in the end of that, it's actually going to prove to be larger, more powerful, more beautiful than we can imagine. And the kingdom of God is worth giving up all that we have through, like, starting, giving a small amount, or it's going to grow into the most prominent tree if it was started with a small seed. And the leaven of the kingdom will impact every bit of the flour. God's kingdom is unlike anything that we've ever known. And the way Jesus sought to explain this was through parables and demonstrated the beauty of the power of the kingdom. These parables allowed God's people to hear and understand, yet those who, yet some of them left to hear and wander and just didn't know what they meant. And so I want to challenge everybody to understand that the kingdom, we don't go to heaven just because it's going to be amazing. We go to heaven because we love Christ. And so we always look to this end goal about what heaven will be like. But I want to challenge us to understand, what does heaven look like now? That, like, how are we heaven on earth to the dying world around us? And so these are some of the things that we're going to go through in our classes. You'll notice some memory verses, topics, threads, to go through as a family as we enter into this week and be proactive in our discipleship. But until next week, God bless. Take care.